Sadie Elizabeth Sink was born on April 16, 2002, in Brenham, Texas, a small town where life moved at a slower pace compared to the bustling cities of the world. She grew up in a warm, supportive household where family values were strong. Her father was a math teacher and her mother a nurse, and together they raised Sadie and her 4 siblings with a mix of discipline, kindness, and encouragement. From an early age, Sadie displayed an unusual spark, something that made her stand out. While many children her age were busy with toys and outdoor games, Sadie loved stepping into imaginary worlds, creating characters, and performing little acts in front of her family. Her parents noticed her natural love for storytelling and acting, and though they lived far away from Hollywood or Broadway, they knew their daughter had something extraordinary. Her passion for acting began to truly take shape when she was just 7 years old. At that age, most children are still figuring out what they like or dislike, but Sadie had already set her eyes on performing. She would watch movies, Broadway shows on television, and immerse herself in the characters. Inspired, she started to perform for her family, and these little performances slowly grew into something more serious. Her mother, seeing her daughter's determination, decided to enroll her in acting classes and local theater groups. It was there that Sadie's raw talent began to shine. Even among children older than her, she had an intensity and focus that was rare. Her first taste of a professional stage came when she auditioned for community theater productions. Soon, she landed small roles in local plays, where she gained confidence and skill. Sadie was not afraid of the spotlight. In fact, she embraced it with open arms. Her first major breakthrough came when she was cast in the stage production of Annie at just 11 years old. It was a dream come true for a young girl who had always admired. Performing in Annie was more than just acting. It was a chance for her to experience professional theater, to work with seasoned actors, and to understand what it meant to live the life of a performer. She didn't just see it as playtime anymore, she saw it as her future. Her parents supported her dream, even though it meant long drives, rehearsals, and sacrifices. They wanted her to have every chance to succeed. Sadie herself worked incredibly hard, balancing school with acting commitments. She would spend hours memorizing scripts, practicing lines, and perfecting her craft. She never saw the extra work as a burden. She enjoyed every moment of it. By the time she was a teenager, she was already well on her way to building an acting career. Her Broadway journey continued as she appeared in the audience, a play starring the legendary Helen Mirren. Sadie was still very young, but sharing the stage with an actress of such caliber gave her invaluable lessons. She watched closely, studied Mirren's professionalism, her attention to detail, and her ability to transform into a character. It motivated her to aim higher, to dream bigger, and to never settle for less than excellence. This early exposure to world-class acting shaped Sadie into a disciplined and ambitious young performer. But Broadway was just the beginning. Sadie knew that to reach the next level, she would have to enter the world of film and television. With her natural charisma and expressive performances, she began auditioning for screen roles. At first, the journey wasn't easy. She faced rejection like every aspiring actor, but instead of letting it discourage her, she used it as fuel to improve. Her persistence soon paid off when she started landing guest roles on television shows. She appeared in Blue Bloods and The Americans, gaining her first experiences in front of a camera. These opportunities taught her the difference between stage acting and screen acting, the subtlety, the nuance, intensity that television demanded. Sadie adapted quickly, proving she was capable of excelling in both worlds. By the time she turned 14, her career was starting to take shape. But the real turning point was just around the corner, one that would change her life forever. Sadie auditioned for a Netflix show that was already becoming a global sensation, Stranger Things. Though she was initially nervous, she gave everything she had in her audition. The casting directors saw something special in her, an ability to portray vulnerability and strength at the same time. That was exactly what they were looking for. Little did Sadie know that landing the role of Max Mayfield would not just give her recognition, it would catapult her into international stardom. At the time, Stranger Things was already loved by millions around the world. When Sadie joined the cast in season 2, she had big shoes to fill. The existing cast had already won hearts, and audiences were attached to them. But Sadie didn't let the pressure overwhelm her. She embraced the challenge and brought Max Mayfield to life with a balance of toughness and sensitivity. Fans immediately connected with her. Max was bold, confident, and fearless, but she also had moments of quiet vulnerability, and Sadie portrayed both sides with authenticity. Her entrance into Stranger Things wasn't just about acting, it was about becoming part of a cultural phenomenon. Overnight, Sadie went from being a talented Broadway teen to an international star. People recognized her everywhere, her social media exploded with followers, and her life changed completely. Yet through it all, she remained grounded, crediting her family for keeping her humble and focused. This was just the beginning of her journey in Hollywood, but Sadie Sink had already proven that she wasn't just another young actress. She was a force to be reckoned with. After her powerful debut as Max Mayfield in Stranger Things Season 2, Sadie Sink quickly became one of the standout faces of the series. Fans were drawn not only to her acting skills, but also to her ability to blend seamlessly with the already beloved cast. At just 15 years old, she was holding her own alongside established young stars like Millie Bobby Brown and Finn Wolfhard. Max was introduced as a skateboard-riding, fearless girl who wasn't afraid to challenge stereotypes, and Sadie embraced that role wholeheartedly. She gave Max a unique charm, someone strong, independent, but also carrying hidden scars. As the seasons progressed, Max's storyline deepened, and so did Sadie's performance. By the time Stranger Things reached its third and fourth seasons, Sadie had become one of the emotional anchors of the show. Season 4, in particular, was a game-changer for her career. In one of the most talked-about episodes, Sadie delivered a breathtaking performance in Max's emotional scenes, especially the now-iconic sequence featuring Kate Bush's running up that hill. That moment wasn't just a highlight of the season, it became a cultural phenomenon. Millions of fans around the world praised her acting, critics called her performance extraordinary, and Sadie officially established herself as one of the most talented young actresses of her generation. Her work in Stranger Things opened doors to even more opportunities in Hollywood. She wasn't content with just being part of a hit series. She wanted to challenge herself with different roles. In 2021, she starred in Netflix's Fear Street Trilogy, a horror series based on R.L. Stine's books. Her role in Fear Street Part 2, 1978, showcased a grittier, darker side of her acting. She played Ziggy Berman, a character with raw emotion and intensity. Fans loved seeing her versatility. She could transition from science fiction to horror with ease, proving she wasn't limited to just one genre. But perhaps one of the most defining moments of her career came with her role in Darren Aronofsky's film The Whale, 2022, where she starred opposite Brendan Fraser. This was her first time stepping into a serious, dramatic film, and it was a true test of her ability as an actress. Sadie played Ellie, a troubled teenager navigating a complicated relationship with her father. The role demanded emotional depth, vulnerability, and maturity beyond her years. Critics were amazed at how Sadie, still so young, delivered such a moving and layered performance. She held her ground next to Brendan Fraser, who was making his own triumphant return to cinema, and their chemistry on screen was unforgettable. Many said this film marked the beginning of Sadie's transition from a teenage star to a serious Hollywood actress. Outside of acting, Sadie has also become a rising figure in the fashion world. With her natural elegance and confidence, she has walked the runway and collaborated with luxury brands. Major fashion houses like Chanel and Prada have invited her to represent their styles, cementing her status not just as an actress, but as a cultural icon for young people. She is admired for her unique sense of style. Bold yet sophisticated, youthful yet timeless. Despite all the fame and recognition, Sadie has managed to remain grounded. She often talks about how important her family is to her and how they keep her balanced in an industry that can be overwhelming. She has spoken openly about the pressures of growing up in the spotlight, but also about the importance of staying true to herself. Sadie is selective with her roles, preferring projects that challenge her creatively rather than chasing fame for its own sake. As of now, Sadie Sink stands as one of Netflix's brightest stars and one of Hollywood's most promising young talents. Her journey from a small-town girl in Texas to a global icon has been nothing short of inspiring. She has already achieved what many actors dream of, starring in one of the biggest shows in the world. Earning critical acclaim in serious films, and becoming a voice for her generation. And yet, what makes her story so exciting is that this is still just the beginning. At only 23 years old, she has decades ahead of her to continue shaping her legacy. Fans eagerly await her future projects, and with each role, Sadie continues to prove that she is not just another young actress. She is a star with depth, range, and staying power. Her career so far has shown a rare balance of talent, discipline, and authenticity. And if her journey up to this point is any indication, the world has only seen a glimpse of what Sadie Sink is capable of achieving.